now you'll say you are losing friends, they're not real friends, and it's not the case, just that you did not improve yourself enough.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is My Journey to Greatness. My Journey to Greatness is a YouTube series that I started to empower and to encourage young people to follow their dreams and to motivate them to do what's best for them. So in today's episode, I have my brother, my homeboy, Ndobe, and he is a motivational speaker, he is a businessman, he is a philanthropist, yes, he's also a student. Like, this guy is doing the most, and I really wanted him to come here to actually talk us through his journey, how he got to where he is. He's also an author of this book that just went for a second which went for a second edition, and I am so happy to have you here, Ndobe, and I call you Nhlanhla, and yeah, welcome to My Journey to Greatness.
No, thank you so much for this platform. Thank you for having me. Let me just say, this is a great platform, and you are doing very great. Actually, one of the people who contributed to my book, I got them through this platform. So you can tell how much impact it's making. And yeah, I really appreciate you hosting me.
Awesome. I'm really happy to have you here. Also because you are, I think you're the youngest guest we've had on My Journey to Greatness, actually.
I'm not sure what's the oldest or which age was last, but yeah, I think I'm that young.
You actually are the youngest guest, and you're doing so much. Like, you are, wow. Okay. Like, the work that you're doing is really incredible. I ask myself so many times, where you get the time to do all these things? So let's start from the beginning. Tell us where you come from and how your high school life was like.
As you said, I'm your homeboy, Nhlanhla, in Limpopo, 0982. I was born there. Studied my grade R, Shihlobo Primary School, and then my primary school teachers thought I was smart. They said, no man, move this child to a private school so he can compete well with other kids. I went there to a private school, but it started showing me flames. But yeah, we moved. And then I realized I was not that smart. Then yeah, I went to high school, Ipipiminga Secondary School. Then I think matriculated in 2014, and yeah, the rest is history.
Okay, 2014, you did your matric. Did you know what you wanted to do when you were in matric?
Thing is, I've always known that I'm a speaker. I've always known, I think from 20, no, it's not even 20, from 2009. That's when I knew that no, I was born to speak. So I wanted something to do with speaking, and I loved teaching. I wanted to be a teacher, but growing up, you are told, no, teachers don't have money. No, and I was like, oh, okay, let me look for something else where you can speak and still make money. Then I went to the legal field.
Oh, okay. When did you enroll for law, and where did you enroll for it?
Okay, this is what happened in 2014. When I did my matric, for some weird reasons, I don't know what happened, but it's because of some personal issues that I was dealing with. I got a diploma in my matric.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and of all my friends, I was the only one who got a diploma. But mind you, I knew I was very smart. That one, it goes without question. I knew I was smart, but because of some issues that I was dealing with that year, I got a diploma. And then from there, I decided, no man, I can't go and study something I don't want. I enrolled for matric rewrite, 2015. Then I did my rewrite in 2015. Then from there, that's when I decided to go and enroll for LLB with UNISA. Yeah.
The two things that I want to talk about from what you said now. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is how you've always known that you're a speaker, you know, and that is something that is a blessing, like to know what you actually want from a young age. I didn't know what I wanted until I got to matric, you know. But then you're saying that you've always known what you wanted to be, like a speaker. Like, how did you know that?
Okay, the thing is, I tried everything that is to try. I did stand-up comedy and I was very good. I did poetry, I did prepared, unprepared speech. And in class, I was one of those people when they said unprepared speech, anyone who wants to start, I was the first one to say, no, let me start. They're like, no, man, not you, not you. We meant anyone besides you. So because if I start, no one else would come through. So I've always known that, no, man, this thing is serious because of those smaller activities we do in primary school and high school.
So you're the type of person who actually puts themselves out there. Do you think that is something that you decided to do, or something that you learned, like you actually made a conscious decision? You know what, I'm going to put myself out there.
No, it's a conscious decision.
Really? Nice.
No one likes putting themselves out there. It's not easy because there's a point where you can be rejected, or they can give you a chance, then you disappoint, and a lot of things. So you just need to decide to say, you know what, I have nothing to lose. If I go there and it works out, then it benefits me. If it doesn't, then I learn.
You have a very strong liver. Yeah, a very strong liver. And I hope my siblings are actually watching this so that they can actually learn that it's very important to put yourself out there and to try as many things as possible, because that's when you discover what you like, what you're good at, what you don't like, what didn't work. And it's very important to actually try those things at a very young age, because adulting is real and you don't want to find yourself doing something that you don't like for the rest of your life. Okay.
No, being young, that's okay. You were saying?
No, you can talk.
No, I was saying the beauty of being young is that you can dream without limits. You have room to make mistakes and all those things. But if you start it at a late age, hey, there's a problem, because you don't have that room. You have responsibilities, you have things to do, there's school, there's work. So you don't have a room to start all those small things that can make you discover yourself. But if you can start them as soon or as young as possible, then you have room to learn and make mistakes and decide, I want this one, I don't want this one.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct. So I want us now to go to, like, when you completed your matric and then you went to do matric rewrite, which is very important. I always talk about this with the people around me, that I would advise anyone who is not happy with their matric results to go do a matric rewrite, because it's better for you to do what you want. Because most people, they don't do it because they're like, no, I'm gonna be delayed and all that. But then you are like, I'm not going to do what I don't want, I'm going to do a matric rewrite. How was that for you?
Okay, remember, results comes out today, and you need to make the decision today. Because Black families, you know how they are, they'll sit you down to say, no, these are your results. What do you want? And you need to think quick and decide to say, this is what I want. And what made me decide, okay, out of my old friends, they all had bachelors. I was the only one with a diploma, because I have a circle of very, very smart people. And I was also smart, but because of some issues, then, yeah. So two of my friends got 7 distinctions.
Sure.
Two of them got 100% in mathematics.
Yo.
They got all these good results, and you need to decide to say, do I go and study something that I don't want because they will be enrolling in universities, or do I go and do a rewrite and do something that I want? Because the problem is people will lie to you to say, no, in life, your friends will always be your friends. Truth is there are levels. And if you don't improve and develop yourself enough, you'll end up hating your friends. Why? Because one friend will study, for an example, will study medicine, complete their degree in, say, 6 years. Then first salary, you can buy a huge car. Then if you did not develop yourself enough, you won't be in the same level. You won't be in the same level. Okay, let's leave the cars and everything. They will go to university, stay in rest. Now they'll start discussing rest life and all that. And when you are, I'm not saying it's bad to be in college, and I've never stayed in rest. But let's say you are in college and there's no rest, you're staying at home. You don't have that experience of living in a big city like Pretoria, Cape Town, and all that. So even the conversation from the first year, it's totally different. It's totally different. So if you don't decide to say, I want to do this, at the end of the day, you won't be in the same level and you won't relate the way you did in high school. Now you'll say you are losing friends, they're not real friends. And it's not the case, just that you did not improve yourself enough.
I like your honesty. I'm just like, this guy is
that's what happened.
I really like your honesty. And I like the decision that you made for you to actually go and do your matric rewrite. So what happened? Like, did you now get your bachelor when you did your rewrite? Did your results improve?
They did. Thing is, when you do a rewrite, you just choose a few. You don't do all subjects. You just say, no, let me do business studies. Let me do 1, 2, and 3. And I chose a few which gave me what I wanted. I checked my results. They gave me a very good bachelor. I could have gone to any university, any. But I decided I wanted UNISA because I have always loved money. I wanted to start a business while I study. So that's what happened.
Sure, like you are one of a kind. Like I don't know, because I know most people would discourage from going to UNISA. No, UNISA is not for young people, it's for people that are older. And you decided, you know what, I'm going to UNISA. There's no rest, there's no classes. Like, like what gave you that courage to do that? Like now also to pursue your business.
And starting from home, when I said I wanted to go to UNISA, they were like, UNISA, are you sure? And I get when you apply, they'll send a letter back home. So in TEFLOP, they sent a letter back home. They're like, no, man, but you have been accepted in TEFLOP and there's Univen, there are all these universities. Why UNISA? UNISA is for all people, man. I'm like, no, man, I want to try something. And at that point, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I knew that no. Remember, this is what happened. When my friends were doing their first years, I was still doing my upgrade. And I realized these guys have good results. These guys are doing good courses. If I decide to go the route of going to a university, then I'll be doing the chasing game for the rest of my life. I'll be running after them because they'll always be a step ahead. So I need to do something that would enable me to be in the same level that they are in. When they finish, I also have something that's tangible, so we can still relate on the same level. So I decided, no, man, let me go to UNISA, I'll get a job or I'll do something that will make me to be on the same level that they will be in by the time they finish their studies. So that's what really happened. There's no special reason why I decided to go to UNISA. I just wanted to be on the same page with other kids who I'm finished matric with, to be like other children. So that's what happened.
I love your honesty because we don't find a lot of people that actually talk about that. And I remember, I just want to give this example. I was talking to my friends about it the other day, that there's this girl who always talks about, she says that she would never be where she was today if it wasn't for a friend. So she says that she and her friend are best of friends, but they're very competitive with each other. And she's like, I'm not going to allow my friend to get like higher marks than me. The friend is also the same. And that way they both develop themselves, develop their career to a very high level just because of that. So sometimes it's very important to actually, I also say this, my mom and I also always have this conversation, that it's very important to look at what your friends are doing and try to do the same thing, copy them or whatever, you know, because if they're doing the good things for themselves, why not? You know, the bad thing is copying like someone doing drugs and all that. But if someone is doing great, ask them, hey, Vana, how are you doing that? So I like how you actually, I think you made the decision to associate with very smart friends. And then after associating with very smart friends, you looked at those friends and you pushed yourself to the same level as them. Like, that's beautiful. I have nothing to say.
That's why you'll hear a lot of people say, if you have 5 broke friends, you are probably number 6. If you have 5 rich friends, then you are probably the 6th one who is rich. So the people you hang out with can either make you or break you. So that's what happened. And I decided no. And with these guys who have been friends since primary school, since grade R. So I don't change friends. I'm a person of long-term commitment. We have been friends since then. So yeah.
Okay, so now you started, you went to UNISA, and then from UNISA, you also started your own business. Like, can you tell us what your business is about and why you chose that specific business?
Okay, this is what happened. Before I started a business, I started working. So I started working at a very young age. Very young. I was doing data capturing. I think, how old was I then? I think I was 19 or 20, somewhere there. So I decided, no, man, let me apply for a job. I went to an interview. I got the job, and I was the youngest in the company. So I did data capturing, and I was getting paid. I think it was around 8.5. And at that time, it's a lot. Even now, it's a lot. 8.5.
It's a lot. From high school, getting 8.5.
18, 19, 8.5.
People do degrees, like 4-year degrees, and still don't get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my mom was very excited. Yo, no man, soon you'll buy a car. Soon, what? Yeah, you see, you know, you did well by going to UNIS. At first, no one understood, but now they're like, yeah, no, you did well. You see, minus pressure on my side. I won't send you any food allowance. I want to 1, 2, 3. It's like, oh, okay. No, it's fine. No, I'm getting the money. And then I started first month, second month. On the third month, after my last pay, I decided, no, man, I don't want this job anymore. I was saving to buy a camera for the first 3 months. I bought a camera, a Canon 700D. I think it was around 14,000 when I bought it. So it was a savings of 3 months. And I told my mom, no, I want to become a photographer. And the plan was not really to become a photographer. The plan was to say, I'm a speaker. So wherever I go, I need to have quality pictures, quality videos. So let me invest in this. But I'll just take pictures here and there just to give me a good start. So that when I start speaking, I'm familiar with the camera. My mom was so mad. My sister was worse because when I got to Pretoria, I stayed with my sister. So you know how ladies are. My sister is the only girl at home. So she called my mom. Hey, man, Nhlanhla did 1, 2, 3. He took all the money. He's buying a camera. What? Yo, everyone was so mad. My brother didn't care. So yeah, they complained. I was like, no, man. When I said photograph, my mom was thinking, you know, those old photographers who go from house to house. This thing they call it. I don't know what they call it in English. I'm not sure if the same thing. A film, So you shoot pictures, you can print them out, and then you send them back. So that's the concept he had in mind of photography. And there's this guy. Hey, that's the only thing that out of all things, you want to be a cameraman, you had a good job that was paying you but now you want to be a cameraman. Why? Then I said, no, man, I just saw at home. We don't have photographers. The only photographer I know is Remombo Media, and he's in Cape Town. So I think I can make good money. And I remember when I bought the camera, Nhlanhla of Remombo Media, and he's actually based in Cape Town. He was in Pretoria for a while. And I called him to say, no, man, I see you're in Pretoria. Do you have a shoot anytime soon? He says, no, I actually have a shoot today. And it was raining. I took my camera. I went to him. I was like, no, man, I've seen you taking pictures and I want to be like you. I bought a camera. This is how it looks like. Can you show me how it works? I said, no, man, I have a shoot. Let's go to Magnolia Park. I'm shooting. Then you'll be my lighting technician or my lighting assistant. I was like, what's that? He says, no, you just roll the reflect. What's a reflect? He says, it's this thing, this round thing. It looks like a dish. You just hold it. I'll be taking pictures. Okay, I went, and that's how it all started. I'm one person who believes in mentorship, who believes in looking at those who have walked the journey before. So I went to him. I was like, no, it's easy. You just press here, it will shoot. Then you turn this wheel, you go to auto, you go to manual, and all these things. I was like, oh, okay. Then it's easy. And then, yeah, he left. Then I took the camera. I went home the whole night, taking everyone pictures, everything. And that's how it started. I started mastering it day by day. And then, yeah, I became very good. Very good.
I like what you, like, I really like I like how you do things, honestly, because I feel like a lot of people are really scared of going to people that have seen, like, that have seen other people doing the same thing. Like, a person would rather see you from a distance doing something than copy you, instead of going to you and be like, how did you do this? Because the moment you ask questions, that's when life becomes easy. You know, imagine if you do something else. Like, if maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, I also ask people when I started my channel, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? I've seen you doing this, like, how can you do this thing? So I really like that approach, and I wish so many people can actually apply that and just humble yourself, ask people questions, and people actually like it when you ask them questions, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want us to talk about now you taking pictures, you being cameraman. Okay, let me call you being a photographer.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I did not study for this, so I can be a cameraman.
How did that translate into a business?
So this is what happened when I go to any field. I check the weaknesses of other people who have been in the field or who are in the field. If you go to graphic designers, if you want to check their weakness, it's late delivery. You tell them, I want a poster today, you'll get it in 2 or 3 weeks time. That's the weakness of graphic designers. A lot of them don't deliver on time. Weakness of photographers is that you have a camera, you shoot, but you don't know how to administer everything. It's not a business, it's a hobby. You just do it for the sake of doing it. But it's not something that people can say, there's this business, I can award it a tender, or I can do 1, 2, 3. It's just, people are just taking pictures and they're making money, but it's not as much as I think I'm making. So the minute you decide to make it professional, it becomes a brand, it becomes a company, it becomes something that can employ and put bread on other families. So I decided, no, man, there are a lot of photographers, but not a lot of them are registered. 2016, I decided, let me register my company. I think it was around Feb. Yeah, it was around February or March. So I actually registered the company before I left the place where I was working. So I registered the company with CIPC. And then that's how everything started. I was invited to a birthday party, a 21st birthday party. And then when I went to shoot there, I remember I charged them 350. That was my first paying gig for, I think, 200 and something pictures for 350. And it was a lot. It was a lot. And then yeah, that's how it started. When people started posting those pictures from that birthday party, like, no man, these are nice pictures. Who did this thing? And with photograph, you work with referral. I used to put my logo down there and numbers, and I learned that if your work is good, you don't have to do that. People will ask. If it's good enough, people will ask, who did this? And from there, people started asking. I started taking pictures, and I've never stopped since then.
You have a studio back home. You have a studio in Pretoria. Like, didn't you need funding to do all this?
So no.
Okay.
What happened is what happened is at that time I was staying with my sister. So whatever cent that I was making could go to my savings. So with the studio, it took me how many years? I think five years in order to open an office, because the rent in Pretoria is expensive. If you want to do a professional office, you are looking at around 15,000 monthly for rental. So I decided, no man, let me just save for that year when I was staying with my sister, and then she moved elsewhere, and then I started staying alone. Then I was like, yeah, I can still save. I saved for 4 to 5 years. I was saving for an office, because remember, when you have a plan, I believe so much in scriptures, and my favorite scripture is Habakkuk 2:3. It says, write the vision down in plain tablets so that everyone who runs must see it. Though it may be slow in coming, wait for it will surely come to pass. So this teaches us to do long-term planning. To say a vision is not a thing of now. If I can just give you a heads up, the company name is Comprehensive Advertising. It has nothing to do with pictures. The name has nothing to do with pictures. So this just tells you that it's a long-term vision, but you need to start somewhere. So it's Comprehensive Advertising. So we are going somewhere. We are going somewhere. And by the end of this year or early next year, you start seeing a few things that are related to the name. So when I did that, I started saving. I got a job in a photography studio, which was paying decently. Every month I would save my salary. Every month I would save. I was like, no, I need a better camera. I need lights. I need 1, 2, and 3. And I bought studio lights. I think 2 or 3 years before I actually started doing studio work. So because these things are expensive, you buy studio lights for 20,000, and you are not working, you still need to save another 20 something for a decent camera and all that. So I did this in a period of around 5 years.
Okay, like yes. So what I'm getting from what you're saying is that you are a visionary. Like you see where this whole thing is going to go to, but at the same time, I don't think that is easy. I used to think that is easy, but I don't think that is easy anymore. I think you need to really believe in yourself, and you really have to have a business mindset. And you are studying law. Like, where is the business mindset coming from?
I've always loved money. That's number one. Number two, you remember my introduction when I started to say my friends were already in universities studying. So in order to have a head up or to be on the same footing with them, you need to do something that is not related to school. So I decided, let me do business. And if you had counted the number of years that I've been studying law and how long it takes to complete it, you'll see, no, man. This guy has been studying. It's because there are times where I had to sacrifice to choose, is it school or business? And I was like, okay, let me take a gap semester. Now it's business. Is it school or business? Okay, let me register 3 modules instead of 5, so I can have enough time for business and enough time for school. So it has always been like that, to say, is it school or business? Even today, if I have to choose between school and business, I would choose school. No, I would choose business, I mean. any day, anytime. Why? Because I think that what's giving me a step ahead, or it's putting me on an equal footing with my peers and with my friends. And yeah, I just think business is a good thing to do because you have an income every day.
I really like what you're saying, because I've just come to the realization that there's two ways to make it. Like, this is not, it's never tested or anything. But then I feel like it's either you're going to make it by doing a very high paying career, or you're going to make it by having a successful business, you know? And in terms of career, if you do not study for something that actually pays you a lot of money, you know, the business, at the same time, you need to make sure that your business is professional. You give professional services. You create systems for it to work. You're not just selling something like to everyone on a day-to-day basis. Like, that's not going to take you far. But if you create system, and I know now in your company you've also employed people, you have salaries to pay. Like, are you also like doing like business management? Because for me, I feel like running a business is hard, especially your kind of a business, because you're offering services. You need to make sure that you have HR staff. You need to make sure that you have systems to grow the business. Like, how are you doing all that?
First things first, don't run a business you have no idea about.
Okay.
Number two, don't employ people to run a business that you have never been before. For example, I use an example of Bolt or Uber. A lot of people buy cars and give people to drive, but they've never been in the actual business itself. So you don't know that when it's cold, people will rather stay indoors instead of requesting to go elsewhere. When it's rainy, people will rather request more, but the prices will be high, so they rather still decide to stay indoors instead of requesting, and all that. And those smaller details are important for you to run a business and understand how the business works. So if you go to those who have done it before, you ask, man, what do you use to edit? I went to Nhlanhla to say, what do you use to edit? He was, no, I use Lightroom. Lightroom, okay. I downloaded Lightroom. There's this thing, there's Photoshop. How do you go about it? Got Photoshop. Then I started mastering it here and there. Then with time, I decided, no, man, this thing is now too big. I can't contain it. I need people to come in and assist. Then I started with freelancers. Instead of having people who are employed full time, I started with having freelancers to say, if I have a wedding, I need someone to go and operate a video camera while I take pictures. And all that. If I have a party, I need someone to take video while I take pictures. Then it grow from there to say, okay, things are changing. I need to get a drone. I got a drone, so I need someone to operate a drone. So instead of having two people going to a wedding, now you need 3 or 4. Someone who's going to be a drone operator, someone who's going to be taking pictures, someone who's going to be taking a video. So you need 3 or 4 people. So you grow depending on the demand of your service. Now, when we moved from just being me to employees, I started employing last year, and we started an office last year. Then when we were operating, we're renting a place with city property. We did our full 6 months. It was not 12 months lease agreement. So we're renting there. It was not easy. There were ups and downs. And I was there every day with the people who are working there, showing them, no, man, this is how you do it. And this is the hard thing about running a business. And this is something that I've recently learned. People won't do it the way we want them to do it. And sometimes it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, there's that small voice that told me that if they were you, they were going to have their own comprehensive advertising. They were going to have their own photography studio. For example, if you're interviewing me now and there are things that I'm not doing right, like looking straight to the camera, sometimes I look this side, And you were like, hi, man, but you are supposed to look to the camera.
Mm.
If I was you, I was going to have my own YouTube channel. But this tells you that people are different, so you must handle with care. You must take them a step at a time. Eventually, they'll get there, but it's a work in process. So it took me around 8 months to 9 months to make sure that I have a team that can compete, a team that I can rely on. Now I don't even go to the office. I never could go to the office, maybe unless if I need to seal a deal or negotiate a certain amount, then that's the only time I go to the office. But besides that, I go to work, come back to my flat, go to work, come back to, but the business will run itself, will pay for rent, will pay for employees and still have some small change. Why? Because I took time making sure that I'm training staff, I'm hands-on, because a lot of young entrepreneurs, the mistake that they make, as soon as the business starts taking off, before it even gets up, they leave to say, no, now I have employees. And no one will just make you money while you sit. You need to be hands-on. You need to make sure that they know what they are doing and all that. That's why we have managers in big shops, because the owners are saying, yes, we have staff, we know what they are doing, but we need someone who's hands-on, who will keep the staff updated with the day-to-day running.
The vision, man. I wanna know the vision. Is that, do you just sleep and think about it that, okay, this is where I'm going, this is what I want, this is what I'm going for? Or do you have somebody who actually influences you that you are modeling?
There are things that we learn in high school that we take them for granted. A lot of things, and people also joke about it to say the reason your relationship is not working is because you'll write an essay first and then go back to write a mind map. So your things are upside down. But I think that's something that's very basic. Life needs a mind map to say, this is where I am and this is where I'm going. And this is how I'm going to get there. So if you don't have that, it becomes a problem. It means you have no navigation. You are just driving all around, but you don't know where you're going. You are just moving. You are not going anywhere. You are just moving from point A to point B. You don't have a destination. So the first thing is to say, this is where I'm at. I have a diploma in metric. This is what I want. I want a house in midstream. I want to be a millionaire. I want 1, 2, and 3. And this is how I'm going to get there. Recently, I've started teaching about something called a paradigm. Your pattern of seeing things, the way you view the world. If I wear green spectacles, my whole world becomes green. If I change them and I wear red spectacles, my whole world becomes red. Does that mean that the world is green? No. Does that mean that the world is red? No. It means that your lens that you are using is green or it's red. So you need to change the way you see yourself. You change the way you view the world. That's when you can have a clear map to say, this is where I'm going. Because we live in a generation where young people are using the blame game to say the government is not doing this. Unemployment rate in South Africa is the highest in the whole world. There are 1, 2, and 3. And I gave this story when I was speaking in a university 2, 3 days back. Yeah, 2 days back. I said I was home during the weekend and I was driving to Tayando in Venda. And when I was driving there, I got to a point that the road that I was using is closed, that I know. So I need to take an alternative road. I'm not familiar with it. I just saw cars turning there. I was like, okay, let me somewhere turn and follow them. Eventually, I got to the mall, bought whatever I wanted to buy. Then I'm going back home and I took the very same route. But because I'm not familiar with it, I missed my turn or the main road going back home. And when I realized, no, man, I missed it. It was going to be easy to say, but the municipality or Tulumele municipality should have placed a sign there to say, this is the main road. But when I looked and I was like this, I was like, oh, okay, I'm the one on the steering wheel. And more often than not, life will take us to a place where we did not want to go. because of circumstances, because of finances, because of the country we live in, corruption and all that. But at the end of the day, it is we can blame to say, no, there was supposed to be a board, there was supposed to be a sign and all that. At the end of the day, you are the one who's holding a steering wheel of your life, and you have two options. I can either stop there and complain, say, no, there's no board, the municipalities are not working and all that. Or I can just go to reverse, do a proper reverse, make a U-turn, go back to the main road and still continue. What am I saying? Sometimes life will put you in places where you don't want, but you are the one who has the responsibility to steer your life and take it to the direction that you want.
I'm motivated. Like I am so inspired. Like I'm just talking, I'm just thinking about my life and what is it that I want to change? What is it that I'm not happy with? You know, I'm even drawing a mind map in my head. Good, okay, you know what? This is where I am. This is where I want to be. How do I actually get there? And that's the impact you are making to my personal life right now as we're speaking. And I hope that every person that actually watches this will actually feel the same way, because this is like sauce without having to pay for it, you know?
The thing is, and this thing of mind map, I'm just using an example that someone will understand in simple terms. It's always been there. It's always been there. It's a matter of seeing where you want to go. And a lot of people are concerned with the why part or the how part. How am I going to get there? That's a story for another day. First things first is that I want to get there. The how part will figure itself along the way. If you go to scriptures, God says to Abraham, as far as your eyes can see, that land I will give unto you. So it's not a matter of where or how you get to the land, but seeing it first. So if you don't see it, you'll never get there. 1961, President John F. Kennedy says to his chief engineers, what will it take for men to build a rocket to the moon and back? This was in the United States when President John F. Kennedy was still president. Then the man answered and said, the will to do it. So it starts with a will, to say, if we have a will, then we can achieve. Napoleon Hill says, whatever the mind of man can conceive, then man can touch it, man can have it. So it starts with deciding to say, I want to get there. Then the how part will sort itself in the process.
Yo, I don't know what to say. I'm like, yes, like I think like this is the message that I've been waiting to hear, you know. Don't worry about the how. And I feel so many of us young people, there's a lot of things that we're doing. Some of them we try, we fail. Some of them we just don't have a vision at all. And this is really inspiring. And now, like, speaking of you speaking, I just want us to go to your career as a motivational speaker. You know, like, dude, you are so brave. You know that, like.
Thank you so much.
You are so brave. And the reason why I'm saying that you are so brave, it's because people can say that, what is it that you have done? Like, also me personally, there's some great speakers that I like listening to, like people who Tom Bellew, Lewis Holmes. I like those people. And every time I listen to their interviews, Tom Bellew always talks about how he managed to build this millionaire company, and now he just has a YouTube channel and he's doing his thing and he's very successful at it. And I'm like, I want to get there, but then I still have that doubt that, but then Shongi, what have you built? You know, like he can say that he can interview those high quality people that he's interviewing on a daily basis because he has a resume. He has 1, 2, 3, and 4 that he has achieved. You know, but then for you, you are a student, your company has just started, you are very young, and already you are a motivational speaker, and you're doing so well at it at the same time. Like, how did that whole thing come about?
Okay, so this is what happened. I've always known that I'm a speaker, and yeah, I've always known. But there are a lot of things that had stopped me or that made me not to start speaking. One, I don't have a Module C school accent. I speak like an African. Let me put it in that way. I speak like an African. And it was one of those things to say, but when I stand on podium and I speak like this, my English is not that, okay, let me use the word clean. It's not that clean, but I need to address people. And I'm like, no, man, I can't do this. So one day, I finished shooting a client. Then I'm accompanying them home. Then I was mugged in Pretoria. And they wanted to stab me with a knife. And then I held the knife. And then I ended up in a hospital. Let me just put it in that way. And when I was sitting, I realized that no, man, I could have died on that day. And had I died and I got to heaven and God says, what did you do? I won't have anything to say. And it was in that year that I decided, no, man, I need to start public speaking because this life, it's not guaranteed. Days of our lives, when I was growing up, there's this show, I'm sure it's still there, there has been the days of our lives. When they start, they'll be like sand in an hourglass. So are the days of our lives. So what happens is you see the sand that's going down. Can I use this book as an example?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an hourglass. Okay, let me put it in this way. Yes, this is an hourglass. And sand is going down from the top. And this is the middle part. What's happening is there's sand which is down here, which is the past. You can't do anything about this. It's already gone. You can't change this. There's sand which is up here, which are the days of our lives. And the most painful thing is everyone thinks that they still have enough sand. And God did this to that hourglass. You can't say how much sand you have left, but it's still going down. It's not stopping. You can think you have so much sand left. Can't you only have 2 days, or you have a year, or you have 2 years? So you need to make use of the time that's in between here, the present moment, which is that smaller place where the sand is passing. So if you can't utilize that, if you can't be happy in the present moment, there's no way you can be happy about the future because you don't know what tomorrow is. So you make a choice to say, every day I'm going to be happy. Every day I'm going to do something that will add value to the people I live with, that will add value to myself. So that's when I started with public speaking, and I tell you, I've never looked back. I've done, and this is one thing that young people need to understand. You don't just do something for the sake of doing. You must be professional. You must make sure that it represents your brand. It represents your brand. So what I did is I booked a hotel, Morningstar Hotel. I invited my pastor. He drove all the way from home to say, no, I can't start this while you are not there. I want you to pray for me, to release me to do public speaking. He came, he did all that. I did it in a hotel. I spoke in universities. And I take my brand serious. You'll never get me in a playing ground, in a soccer field, in a dusty area speaking. Not that I don't want to speak or add value back to the community, but I take my brand serious because I've been invited to a lot of universities. I've spoken there. Why? It's because they see me in a hotel. Hey, this guy is dangerous. This guy is dangerous. Then from there, I remember when I did my first event, you sent me 200 rands to say, I'm in Cape Town, I can't come, but I see what you are doing. I want you to give a ticket to someone. I was like, hey, this, and mind you, at that time, we were not even close. I was like, oh, so people actually recognize these things. No, I'm going to really do this thing and make sure that I really push it. Now, from there, I decided, okay, there's Rishongile in Cape Town. I want to try something that other speakers have never tried. I'm going to host an event in Cape Town. I'm going to make people fly in a plane. People have never been in a plane. They are going to board on a plane for the very first time to say, we're going to Cape Town. for an event with SAS. And I did that. It was a success. The event was a full house. I booked Pressure Hotel by Marriott at Sea Point, not just any place in Cape Town, at Sea Point. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, I did that. Okay, there's someone in Cape Town who really believes in this brand. No, I'm going there. And I did that. It was a success. And one thing that I must tell you, you have nothing to lose in trying. Now I sent emails to everyone that I wanted them to contribute in my book. I have Dr. David Masondo was the Deputy Minister of Finance. I have Dr. Kumar, a legendary footballer. I have Dr. Jerome Fukeng, also known as Nomkheti in Scandal, who contributed to this book. And I had no idea on how I was going to get them, but I knew I wanted them to contribute in my book. So I just decided, you know what? Let me do it. If they agree, it's fine. If they say no, then it's still fine. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah. Like you shoot your shot. Like, yes, there's one thing about you. You shoot your shot to the relevant people.
No, it's like proposing a girl. Mine is to propose. Whether she says yes or no, that's entirely up to her. Yeah. But I have nothing to lose. If she says yes, then yeah, I have a girlfriend. If she says no, then yeah, no one knows. It stays between the two of us that I shot my shots and she said no. So it's simple as that.
Okay, so now I want us to talk about your book name, Success is a Choice. Yes. And I know you released it while you were still in high school, right?
It was in 2015. It was when I was doing my matric upgrade.
Oh, yes. Yes. Can you tell us about that? Like, what made you write that?
Same concept. You have guys who have 7 distinctions and all that. And I have me with a diploma who decided to say, you know what? I have these results. I need to man up. I need to do something about it. There's this high school teacher who used to teach mathematics in high school, Memzit. This is what she would say. And that's very profound. When you point a finger at someone like this, use one finger to point, the rest are pointing back at you to say, yes, you can blame so and so and so, but at the end of the day, you need to take responsibility of your own life. And that's what the book is about, to say that there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 that you need to man up to, or you need to take responsibility and work on it. That's where the idea of success is a choice started from. Then I started writing, and yes, it became a book.
And then you decided to publish it, and then now you've printed it again. It's an extended edition. What caused you to actually like want to revisit it?
The thing is, when Apostle Paul put it very clear, he says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I did as a child, but now that I'm grown up, I put away all childish things. So I read it and I was like, no, man, these things are very powerful, but some things were very childish. These are thoughts of a child. I need to work on it, revisit it, and make sure that it's relevant to the market. And I felt that the things that are discussed in these books are very powerful, that I can just decide to say, let me write another book. Yes, I'm busy working, and people will hear it live first from my journey to greatness, that I'm writing another book. I'm still working on the title. I think I will call it I Thought. And this is a book which I will release in a year or 2. And it's a book that will be teaching and explaining how I made my first R1 million. So I'll release it in a year or 2. Now, I always get that, okay, why am I doing this? It's because if I can prepare my mind to say in the next year or 2, I need to have R1 million, and I start writing about it even before it's even there, it means that I can achieve it. Whatever the mind of man can conceive, the mind of man can achieve. So it's the same as public speaking. When I started doing public speaking, 1, you need to have a good smile. I had no idea how I was going to smile. And when I started smiling, people were like, no, man, people will always advise you, you don't have to open your mouth wide. You need to let your teeth out, but not that much. But now my smile is giving me money. I'm making money out of it. When people say smile, I just did it. And people love it. Simple as that. So you need to get something that works for you and make it work, because there are people who do a serious face. Okay. And then they will tell you to smile. I'll just do this. Simple. And it works for me. It works. Somebody says, no, man, your smile is too big. No, man, what? But get something that works for you and make it work. So that's what success is. We are as a result of the choices we made today, or the choices we made yesterday. So whatever choice I decide to make today will bring results of tomorrow. So you are a graduate, you have a YouTube channel, you have and you are doing well yourself. Let me just compliment you. You are doing very well. And the reason you are where you are today is because of choices that you made. So success is a choice. That's what it's all about. It's all about making choices. I write about the power of association. I write about even if I write about overcoming. I write about a lot of things.
I really need to get that book, actually. And month end is coming. So everyone who actually watches this, please, guys, I'm going to leave the link to the book, how you can get it, on the description box. How much is the book?
The book is selling at 250.
Oh, okay. That's very affordable, guys. Just don't take takeaways. Uber Eats, just put it aside. Like, this is for your future.
Yeah. No, this is a good investment.
Yeah,
I won't lie.
So
it's a good investment.
It's a great investment. So I want us to now talk about you. Like, where do you get the time to do all these things that you're doing?
It's about priorities. First things first. You in life, you need to learn how or when to put first things first. People who have been in relationships will tell you, if he loves you, he will make time for you. If she loves you, she will make time for you. And all these things. So it's about priorities. You decide what to prioritize first. So now I hardly have time. I go to work, I make sure the business is running, I make sure I'm writing, I do public speaking, I do all these things. So you decide what matters most at that moment. Remember what I said about an hourglass? That said, that's passing that moment, that's what matters the most, living in the present time. The past is gone, the future is still coming, but we are not sure how it will look. But what we do today will determine how tomorrow will look. So it's best we work on today and make sure we work hard and make it the best life we ever lived.
So we've talked about all these things, ne? I want to know now, where are you going?
Where am I going?
Yes.
Okay, there are a lot of things that I'm working on. What's very, very, very close to my heart, it's a foundation that I recently registered, Son of the Soul Foundation. And I'm a storyteller. I love speaking to people. I love telling stories. And I'm going to be telling 2 stories. One, I will tell it at the end of the show. I think you'll remind me. Then one, it's the one that I'm about to tell you now. So I want to invest so much in people. I need to make enough money to do a lot of public speaking and less work. So I believe that a vision without finances becomes a burden. So that's why I decided that my calling, my personal calling that God has called me for in this life, is to make impact through speaking. And I love speaking to the less privileged, making sure that they develop themselves. We teach them how to catch fish and all that. So that's what I'm passionate about. So that's what I want to do. That's where I'm going. Money is there. Money is there. We are making money. The businesses are running. I've a lot of businesses that I'm involved in besides the ones that I personally run. But there are a lot of things that I'm working on. I'm doing my articles in a law firm that are paying me. So I'm speaking for public speaking. I charge good money. So all these things are giving me an income so that I can finance Son of the Soil, the foundation. That's what I'm passionate about. So that's where I'm going. I'll be doing a lot of those. I have a gala dinner that's coming out in December. So this is the story that made me to start Son of the Soil. When I was in high school, I've always been a giver, where this thing that we're doing will buy school uniform, groceries, and all that. And we give students or learners in the principal's office. So we didn't go to the assembly and all that. We just call them to the office, then we give them. So there was a welfare committee that was assisting us to identify these learners. So what happened is we were told of one student or one learner was in grade 10. So went to this guy, like, hey, man, there's this thing that we're doing. We want to buy you a pair of trousers and shoes. What's your shoe size? My shoe size is this and this. Your trouser size. Then he said, I don't know. You're in grade 10, you don't know which size you wear on trousers. Hey, we started laughing. This guy, you're not serious. Then something just said, ask him why. Then I said, but why don't you know? Then he said, it's because in my entire life, I've never had a new trouser. All the trousers that I had, they were given to me. Then I had to alter them. So I don't know my waist size. And from then, I decided that I will never, ever take what I have for granted. The little that I have, I must share it with other people. Number two, it's easy to criticize people or speak things that you think that are normal, like knowing your trousers size and all these things when you're speaking from a point of privilege. Then I decided, you know what? I'm going to dedicate my whole life to ensure that we have less people who are saying, I don't know which size I wear on shoes, on pants, and whatsoever. I'm going to dedicate my life doing all that.
Yeah, yes. I'm really inspired right now because I also started a foundation about 2 years ago, but I haven't even registered it up to today. And after hearing you say that, I felt like it's time for me to get serious about what God put in my
I will send you the registration link. You register it today.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you really just touched my heart there. So, now this is the big question that I ask my guests.
Yes.
I ask my guests this question because you are such a busy man. You're such a big businessman. Yes, then money is coming from all different directions.
Okay.
Do you have time to actually like go out with someone, like, or you don't have time for girls?
Time for girls? Which girls? Let's start there.
Females,
which
like
girls?
Females, do you go on dates, or are you like, you know what, let me just get my things together, then I'll see like dating later?
I have female friends. I think that should be enough. The rest is for office use only. But yeah, I do have female friends, and as for relationships, it's a pandemic on its own. So as soon as
I think that's a very good answer. It's for office use only, no?
Yes, for office use only.
Okay, Nhlanhla, I am really inspired by your journey. I'm really, really inspired by your journey. And I feel like so many other people, especially from back home, would also be inspired. And hopefully someone like will be like me today and be like, you know what, there's this thing that has been on my mind for years now. Let me actually do something about it. So thank you so much for coming to my journey to greatness. I really appreciate your time because it's not easy getting this guy, hey? So So thank you so much for coming to my journey to greatness. But then do you have any final words that you'd like to add, any advices that you'd like to give to people?
Let me just wrap it up in this story, and I will try to make it very, very, very brief. So this is what happened long time ago. There was this young man who was from a very poor background. In his house, they would sell traditional beer in order to feed the whole family. So when he was in high school, he saw this yellow bone. Approached her, proposed, and then for some weird reasons, I think because he was tall, dark, and handsome, she said yes. Then the lady went back home and said, "No, man, there's this guy that I just met, and he's showing interest." Then the lady's family, they were like, "No. You are not getting married to that family. You can't be bringing poverty in this house." Long story short, they got married. The guy started working, was working in a post office. I think was making money because let's say around 1997, he had a car and a decent house. I think he was making money. So when he was there, one day he came back home for a wedding, and as he was going back with friends, he left his car. They got an accident. When they got an accident, then long story short, let me not just go to the hospital and all that. The guy passed away. When he died, he left a wife and 3 kids. The firstborn was a bit older than the secondborn. But I'm more interested in the lastborn, who was, let's say, a year and 3 months old when this man passed away. And the lastborn is here with you today on my journey to greatness, explaining this story. Why am I telling this story, and why do I love saying this? Is because my father used to work in a post office, but I always say this, that he did not even leave a letter to his family to say goodbye, which tells us that life is very short. Anything can happen at any time. So we need to make the best out of it. If you want to start something, do it today, do it now, and I hope we all make it to the top. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Son of the Soul. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. If you're inspired, please like, please share, please leave a comment. Please tell me what is it that resonated the most with you. Please let me know also if there's something that you're going to start doing today. And yeah, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share. And you can follow me on Instagram and on Facebook as well. Son of the Soul.
Yeah, it's Ndobe on Facebook. Instagram is Ndobe, Twitter, it's Ndobe, but I'm not active on Twitter. The streets of Twitter are very harsh, so I'm not that active, but it's Ndobe everywhere.
Okay, there you have it, guys. I'll also leave the links in the description box. And thank you so much again for watching. Bye.
Bye.